Liam Payne, rest in peace. In this video, it's gonna be like, you know, share some of my thoughts on Liam, and why I want to make this video. I think I want to make this video because uh, there's a few things about the circumstance of him passing away that I feel need to be spoken about. One of those things definitely is, the fact, you know, people are still saying, "Oh, he was so young. He's so young when he passed away. So unexpected." And Liam was 31 years old. So there are a few reasons why I feel quite closely to this story, and Liam passing away at the age that he did, in the way that he did. So I'm 33 years old. So there's 2 years difference between me and Liam Payne. The way that he passed away, from what we know of at this point, is due to substances in his body, one of them being alcohol, and then him being in a situation which unfortunately led to his passing. So there were a few things to unpack that I feel that it shocks everybody because we're not paying attention to things that can happen to somebody in my age group. So we are known as millennials, 30, late 20s, I think just a little bit earlier than that. We're known as millennials, that's our age group. And for some strange reason, one, we look younger than we actually are. So we tend to be treated like as if we're still children, but we are adults. Do you get what I mean? That also means that our organs and our body and our heart and our digestive systems, our immune systems are also a lot older than what you are perceiving. So, for example, people always, you know, look at me and they're like, "Oh, you look 19." So they expect me to still jump around and bounce around as if I'm 19. And I'm like a middle-aged man. I'm 33 years old. And that's the way people would look at Liam as well. Not only because, of course, how he looks younger than he actually is, but because also his fame came at a very young age. So a lot of people are seeing the teenage version of him as opposed to that adult version of him. And what with that mixed with substance as well, things can shut down in your body. Like your body can shut down, and people won't actually see the signs or even see that you're going through a medical emergency or something's happening to you because you look young, and because people might be thinking, "Oh, he's a performer, he's an artist, he's just playing around, that's just happening." So the events leading up to Liam, uh, and the incident with the balcony, I reckon, from what we hearing from the reports, there may have been little signs that are like maybe something's happening with him internally. Which is why the autopsy is really important. He could have had a heart attack. There could have been, due to other things in his body, dehydration. Could be extreme dehydration. His blood sugar levels. So he could have had diabetes. You don't know, and a lot of things go unchecked with our age group. So there's like loads of checks. A lot of us in our early 30s have just not had. This could be due to um, the fact we went through a pandemic and the NHS took such a hit here in the UK anyway. Now he's a celebrity, he might have had access to other health professionals where he could have had certain checks, all these sort of things. For example, cancer checks in men now, like just it's like it must have, like, there are a lot of people I know of that have been through things in their body and they haven't got it checked. Like, oh, I'll put it off. I got work tomorrow. Oh, I've got to do this. I can't do that right now. And then just not going and getting checked. I had a lump I discovered down below, and I wasn't going to get it checked. Luckily, I did get it checked, and it wasn't cancerous. I had to go to a urologist. First, I had to go to the doctors, and then I went to the urologist. But because I look so young and I'm bouncing, I'm sprightly, and I'm full of life. Like these sort of things that happen to you in the mature side of your life when you become an adult, and things have developed in your body later on in your life, they just get overlooked completely. Back onto Liam now. I like to talk about the positive things people have done, and the positive impact they've left, to pay attention to their legacy. Liam made a song that I really like. Strip That Down for me. I like that song. That's one of his songs that I'm like from his solo career. That's that song. Strip that down for me. I like that song. I think that's a really nice song. So there's that as well. There were also like people in my age group, because obviously you might be watching, you might be of an older age group, or you might be really young, so you might not have encountered the fact that people's health issues have been overlooked entirely, and then they might have an incident or something resulting in death as a result. Um, there's been people in my community, my local community, where alcohol has affected their body in a way that has resulted in death and passing away. Um, very, very, very close to home as well, and it really did shake the community to the core. Like, and even like you don't realize how close you might have been with the person, or how much just passing somebody by on like the street and be like, "Hey, dude, mate, you alright?" And like, you firm to each other, you say hello. One of my neighbors passed away from alcohol. You don't realize how much it affects you, bro. Like, you don't realize, like, yo, that person used to put a smile on your face when you was feeling down. You used to see that person every morning and be like, yo, what's up? And Tom, his name was, and I didn't realize how close I was to Tom. Like, just in passing, bro. Like, when I used to come back from like work, walking back from work where I used to work, and I used to be like really sad about something, or like he'd always be there, and he'd like always put like a smile on my face and whatnot. And he was in our age group as well. So Liam Payne's from Wolverhampton, and he's in our age group, 2 years younger than me, and Tom, who's passed away as well. Rest in peace, Tom, man. But like he's 2 years younger than us, and he was in the Wolverhampton borough. So there might have been occasions where, because that's really close to where I've grown up. Um, Wolverhampton is just like a bus journey away, and occasionally schools get together and they interact with like sports events, and what they used to. I'm not sure if they're doing it. The Midland schools are doing that now. But we used to interact with each other with like big sport events, or big, you know, uh, enterprise events. Schools used to call it, and big functions and competitions and football tournaments and whatnot. So you used to interact with like the other schools. So there would have been, you know, possibly like crossing paths with Liam. Just, you're out shopping when he could have been in the same shopping centre with you at the same time. You know what I mean? When you're out on a family day out and you go into somewhere local, you never know who could be walking right past you. And Liam was a homegrown Wolverhampton boy, from what I can read as well. So it gave me this opportunity to, talk on Liam and talk on this, which I feel needs to be spoken about. Alcohol is like substances in general can affect your body in a way where you don't realize how much it can actually do to your internal organs. I had a moment where I was drinking alcohol, and it was during a time where someone passed, and then I had a funny turn. I had a really funny turn, and I thought I was dying, or I thought I was having like a stroke or something. Like I was like something weren't right. I think it might have been a concussion. I don't know. I didn't, I didn't. Again, I didn't go to hospital during that time. But there were signs that I'm looking back on, and I'm like, something might have been happening to me at that time. Luckily, I'm still here. I slept it off, not in a good way. It like, but I just slept. I didn't think I was gonna wake back up. Um, I literally didn't think I was gonna wake back up. I just remember like I lost functions in my legs. It could have been like paralytic drunk. I don't drink often either at all. Don't drink, don't smoke. So like I cut all that off. But during a time of grieving, I gave it a shot, and my body was like, no. My body was like, I don't know why you've done that or whatever happened to me. Maybe I hit my head. I think when I phoned 111, they were like, "Have you hit your head?" And I had no clue. Like, I had no clue if I hit my head or not. I was like, I really don't know. Right, so it could have been concussion because I did phone 111. For those of you who might be watching in a different country, if you're watching at all, 111 is like our first response line. If it's not a life or death situation straight away and you need a responder to come out to you and take you into hospital, there is another line that the NHS provides here in the UK, 111 helpline, and you can call them and you can get yourself talking to a medical professional about what you think your symptoms are or what's happening with you, and then they can advise what you do next. And I remember calling 111 on that night where my body was like, something's wrong. And I remember they said something like, have you hit your head? But because I had alcohol in my system that day, and I was like, I was conscious, and I was, just something went right. Something went right, man. Luckily, I could respond. I could talk. I could move my head, my neck. At some points, I was lying down, then I'd get back up. Be like, what's going on, man? So the culture of drinking and things like now have sort of like they've shifted as well. Like when it comes to stuff like that, people are drinking their worries away, and that can be really dangerous because what can happen is you cannot see the end of a bottle, and you get another bottle, or at times you could be needing to just call it quits, and because you might have a high tolerance to alcohol, you might be still drinking. Caffeine can be another one. It could be like the thing is, it doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be something really small. It could be paracetamol. It could be accidentally taking the wrong paracetamol at a certain time. It could be all of these kind of things. Don't underestimate what your body might be going through. And if you're unsure, get on that call, man. 111 it. If you're in the UK, if you're in the US, take yourself to a medical professional because you never know. And that's I think what's happened to Liam and him being such of a, as they're saying, a young age, but being a similar age. I had to talk. Like, I don't think I could have left this a little bit longer. I think just got out. Hair's not looking. Haven't haven't cleaned myself up in the morning. Thought of a different setup, and me just talking about this because look after people, man. That's another thing as well. Like you never know. Like even when you're just checking in on someone, just be like, oh man, like you're slurring your speech a little bit. Are you alright? Like have you, you know what I mean? Um, are they able to communicate? Are they able to respond? Do they need to be? Are they stumbling? Are their legs? Are they on spaghetti legs? Are their eyes rolling back? Like all these different little signs are really important because you never know, man. People like to keep on a brave face when they're going through things. It could be a mental health issue. It could be a literal medical, physical issue, and people like to put on a brave face. They like to be like, "Nah, I'm still here. I'm still going through that kind of stuff." But man, when it comes to like life and death, we gotta look after each other a bit more, man. We have to because you never know. I had cousin. I think he's a cousin or uncle. That's another video in another time, man. But there's just like it seems to be especially with lads as well. That's what I've noticed. And I'm not overlooking women going through medical issues, but when it comes to lads and men, you seem to be like, no, they're strong. They can take it. They could be having like some serious issue in there, man. Could be any. It could be anything. Could be anything. And also look after number one. So when you're going through something as well, like it may seem soft or silly, but just take yourself into that doctor. Take yourself into that doctor. Be like, yo, I think something's up. Even if you feel silly, the doctor shouldn't make you feel silly because you're being sensible, checking yourself. It's that simple. You're being sensible, checking yourself. If you're unsure, sometimes you might talk to a friend, be like, oh, I've got this lump here somewhere, or oh, yo, when we went out the other night, something felt a bit funny. It felt different. I know alcohol, I know this, but something felt off. Check it. Check it. Just get it checked. Just go and check it. You know, and think about if you got like, and it's not to say like, don't. You shouldn't feel. You shouldn't. I don't think you should look down on people that are also going through that. Like people that are going or gone through something like that. You shouldn't look down on people at all, man, because this world can be cruel. This world can be extremely cruel. You know what I mean? Trust me, stuff that I've been through. Like this world can be horrible, absolutely horrible. Like and can take things away and can kick you down and knock you down, and you could be in the mud, and you could be the lowest, seen as the lowest of the low. So I don't look down on anybody. I really don't. I don't look my nose down at anybody, man. You could be going through anything, absolutely anything, man. It's just like, shh. Mm, dropping stuff off the table. I need to. I'm gonna have my breakfast now. Haven't had my breakfast yet, but I felt like I needed to just talk. I needed to just talk about this. Liam Payne. Um, and I saw this, and I was like, I can't keep quiet anymore about like the amount of people that have been lost to us. Like, just it's a lot over circumstances which could have been. I wouldn't always say prevented, but let's just they could have had a better. Um, could have been more comfortable. You know what I mean? Could have been more comfortable. Like even when it was like too late, like I feel like it could have been more comfortable. Like just situations, and like what how I'm seeing people passing. It's just like it could have been more comfortable. Like in terms of like the funding that we have for like hospitals and medical professionals. I feel like the funding that we usually have for that it's just not there. So that's another reason why people it's just not I don't think it's enough. So I think that's the reason why people are also not going to the doctors and then they ain't going to the hospital when they need to. Because they're just like, nah. Because then you go there and you're in a waiting line for how long, and then you're in this, and then you're in that. So people are just not going to the hospital. They're just not checking themselves out. Some people would rather pass away than actually. Some people would actually rather pass away than actually wait longer or have to wait for an operation or something. And it's actually happened. Like, that's sad, man. Like so I feel like not just the country. It's just like the mentality of our health. Like the mentality of our health is just shot. It just seems to be like the last thing that people are thinking of. It just seems to be the last thing that like governments are paying attention to, like being like, yo, we built hospitals, but have we got the right kind of staff there? Have we got waiting times down? Have we got the right kind of facilities there? Have we got the right professionals to diagnose you with certain things? Are people being wrongly diagnosed? Are people being checked when they're being home cared for? All this kind of stuff is just being just it's just not it's just not there's a lot to mend without our health sector. You know, and like as a musician for Liam, as a musician, with people around him and him looking young and being a millennial and how we're treated with our health in the first place anyway, like it's just like they wouldn't even spotted this, they wouldn't have spotted those signs just at all. They would have been like, oh no, it's just a musician and he's just performing and he's just done this, or oh he's normally doing that anyway. So they wouldn't have noticed any different. So yeah, just thought I'd talk about this. I need to go and get cleaned up. I had my breakfast now. I think my coffee's gone cold. If you resonate with anything that I've said in this one, completely different. But I've decided to come outside. I don't know what's in the shot of it. I haven't even got my glasses on. My glasses are here. But it's just a real talk, man. It's something really important, something that needs to be spoken about, something that's just overlooked, and the funding's not there. I feel like when I needed to one on one. Hopefully you could hear me. The microphone's here. Hopefully you could hear me properly. Um, I hope everything's running on it. So yeah, yeah. Just a one from me to you. Yeah. End the video there. Thanks for watching.